A few years ago, Portugal was the destination many people wish they had discovered earlier. Affordable homes, beautiful coastlines, safety, and a relaxed lifestyle turned it into one of the world's most popular choices for expats and retirees. But popularity changed everything. Prices increased, famous cities became more crowded, and the opportunity that once existed became harder to find. Now, a new wave of countries is starting to attract attention, places offering the same lifestyle, affordability, and opportunities that made Portugal so appealing. Today, we explore 6 countries that could become the next Portugal, and the number one destination might be the one most people have never considered. Let's get into it. Number 6, Mauritius. Mauritius is becoming an increasingly attractive destination for people searching for a different way of living abroad. Located in the Indian Ocean, this island nation is known for its beaches, natural beauty, political stability, and relaxed lifestyle. One of the unique aspects of Mauritius is its cultural diversity. The country combines African, Indian, European, and Asian influences, creating a multicultural society. English is used in official settings, while French and Mauritian Creole are widely spoken, making daily life easier for many foreigners. The quality of life is one of the biggest reasons people consider moving here. Places like Grand Baye, Tamarin, and Port Louis offer modern facilities, international restaurants, and growing expat communities. Residents can enjoy beaches, hiking trails, water activities, and a slower pace compared with many major cities. Mauritius is also considered one of Africa's more stable countries, with a strong reputation for safety and a reliable private healthcare sector. Opportunities exist in industries such as financial services, tourism, technology, and international business. However, island life has some challenges. Imported goods can be expensive, the local job market is limited, and housing costs have increased in popular areas. When it comes to expenses, a one-bedroom apartment in Mauritius typically costs around $350 to $700 per month, depending on location and quality. A comfortable lifestyle for one person usually requires around $1,200 to $1,700 per month, including rent, food, transportation, and entertainment. For retirees, remote workers, and entrepreneurs earning income internationally, Mauritius offers a great combination of tropical living, stability, and modern comfort. Number 5, Romania. Ask someone what Romania looks like, and you'll usually get a description from 30 years ago: gray buildings, closed borders, and economy still finding its footing. That description hasn't been accurate for a long time. Bucharest has turned into one of the busier tech hubs in Eastern Europe without anyone outside the industry really noticing. And Cluj, Napoca has pulled in enough software companies that people there call it Cluj Valley. Half joking, but not entirely. The difference becomes easier to understand when you compare everyday expenses with what people pay in Western countries. Rent, groceries, a night out, none of it resembles Western European numbers. It resembles pricing from a decade back, except sitting on top of infrastructure that's fully caught up. Fast internet in every major city, renovated hospitals, and highways connecting regions that used to require a full day of travel between them. The friction shows up in paperwork. Bureaucracy moves at its own pace here, and patience gets tested at every stage: registering residency, opening a bank account, getting a utility connected. All of it takes longer than a Western system would lead you to expect. English is common among younger people and in major cities, but it becomes less reliable in smaller towns and rural areas. Learning a few basic Romanian phrases can make everyday interactions much easier, especially outside places like Bucharest and Cluj-Napoca. Income averages $1,300 a month. The cost of living, excluding rent, sits near $500. A one-bedroom runs $350 to $600, with Brasov and smaller cities landing near the lower end of that range. Romania proves you don't have to trade infrastructure for savings. The next country trades density for something quieter, on a continent most people never think to check first when they're planning a move. Number 4, Uruguay. There's a version of South America that doesn't make headlines, and that's basically Uruguay's entire personality. While its neighbors cycled through decades of economic and political turbulence, coups, currency collapses, and everything in between, Uruguay just stayed put, steady, low drama, and almost forgettable in the best possible way for anyone tired of uncertainty. Montevideo isn't chasing anyone's attention. A walkable downtown, a strong cafe culture, and a coastline that would charge triple almost anywhere else on the map with the same view. A couple hours away, Punta del Este pulls in wealthier crowds and a growing number of foreign retirees drawn to beach, living without the unpredictability found elsewhere on the continent. No sudden currency swings, no political headlines to worry about. Here's what surprises people. This isn't the cheap South American country. It's the priciest one on this list, relative to its own region, and even against a couple of the European names here. You're not paying Argentina prices, and you're definitely not paying Bolivia prices. You're paying for the calm, and the calm has a real bill attached to it. Income sits around $1,600 monthly. Living costs, excluding rent, run roughly $650. Rent lands between $500 and $750, higher again in the most desirable neighborhoods of Montevideo or along the coast near Punta del Este. Uruguay isn't trying to be the bargain option, and it never will be. The next country swaps that predictability for something with a lot more voltage running through it, on the opposite side of the world. Number 3, Indonesia. Bali got so popular, it started defeating its own purpose. Rents in Canggu now sit close to what you'd pay in a mid-sized Western city, which erases half the reason people went looking there in the first place. The co-working spaces are still there, the beach clubs are still packed, but the original appeal, the affordability that started it all, has thinned out considerably in the most photographed neighborhoods. But Indonesia was never just Bali. It's over 17,000 islands, and most of them haven't been touched by anyone chasing a co-working space photo for their feed. Move to Lombok, or a smaller city on Java, and the lifestyle that costs $800 a month in Canggu drops to $300 somewhere quieter, without losing the tropical climate or the sense of community that draws people there in the first place. Visa options are still catching up to demand. New digital nomad categories have appeared in recent years, but the rules shift often enough that anyone planning this seriously needs to check current terms rather than trust information from even a year or two ago. Outside the developed pockets, healthcare and infrastructure stay inconsistent, with road quality and utility reliability varying enormously from island to island. Plenty of long-term expats still fly to Singapore for anything beyond routine care, treating it as an accepted cost of living somewhere this affordable. Income averages around $700 monthly. Living costs, excluding rent, run close to $350. Rent falls between $200 and $500, with the higher end concentrated almost entirely in the most tourist-heavy pockets of Bali. Indonesia rewards people willing to walk past the obvious. The next country does something similar. In a part of the world almost nobody expects this kind of movement to happen, tucked between two seas most Western travelers couldn't name. Number 2, Georgia. You said Georgia 5 years ago, and most people assumed you meant the American state. Now it's one of the more discussed relocation spots among people who actually dig past the surface instead of watching a single travel video and calling it research. Tbilisi carries the appeal almost entirely on its own centuries-old wine cellars, sitting a few doors down from brand-new co-working spaces. Soviet-era apartment blocks a short walk from boutique hotels that wouldn't look out of place in a much pricier European capital. It's a city still deciding what it wants to become, caught between its past and whatever comes next. And that in-between energy is a big part of the draw for people who move there. The affordability catches first-timers off guard almost every time. A one-bedroom in central Tbilisi runs $300 to $500. Dinner with wine, per person, often lands under $12, even at places that would pass for upscale anywhere else. Georgia also runs one of the simplest tax structures on earth for individual entrepreneurs, and most nationalities walk in visa-free for up to a year, no paperwork required, just to show up and see if it fits. The trade-offs are real though. The language is genuinely difficult, built on an alphabet unlike anything most Western visitors have encountered, and English disappears fast outside the capital. Sitting next to Russia also means the geopolitical picture stays something you actually track, not a footnote you skim past and forget about. Income averages $800 a month. Living costs, excluding rent, land near $350. Rent runs $200 to $500, with central Tbilisi commanding the top of that range. Georgia built its reputation almost entirely through word of mouth, one relocated entrepreneur telling another. Number 1. Albania. More people are starting to look at Albania differently, not because of a major marketing campaign, but because they are discovering what has been there all along. For years, Albania was shaped by its history of isolation, and many outsiders still associate it with an outdated image. But the country today tells a very different story. Along the Ionian coast, the Albanian Riviera offers clear blue water, dramatic mountains, and seaside towns that feel much less developed than many Mediterranean destinations. Compared with places like Greece or Croatia, many areas remain more affordable and less crowded. Tirana has also changed significantly. The capital has developed a more modern, urban lifestyle, with pedestrian-friendly areas, a strong cafe culture, restaurants, and nightlife that give it a distinctly European feel. It has the energy of cities that became popular with international residents before rising costs transformed them. That is why Albania is increasingly being compared with Portugal. It offers many of the qualities people look for in a Mediterranean lifestyle: coastline, culture, history, and a slower pace of life in an earlier stage of international attention. Property along the coast, in towns like Saranda and Vlorë, is still cheap, though foreign buyers have started paying closer attention over the last couple of years. Tourism numbers have climbed sharply, and a tourism spike is usually the early signal before an expat wave follows behind it. Travelers turn into residents, residents turn into small communities, and communities push prices upward once word spreads far enough. The honest downside: infrastructure outside the main cities and coastal hubs still lags behind Western Europe, and bureaucracy can be unpredictable in ways that test patience fast, sometimes with little explanation for the delay. Fewer support systems exist here for foreigners, simply because fewer foreigners have come through so far to build them. Income averages $800 monthly. Living costs, excluding rent, sit near $400. Rent for a one-bedroom runs $250 to $500, with the coastal towns edging toward the top during peak summer months. That's the trade every early mover accepts: some rough edges now, in exchange for arriving before those edges get smoothed over and the prices climb along with them. The next Portugal may not be obvious today, but history shows that the best opportunities are often found before they become popular. Which of these countries would you consider moving to, and which one really surprised you? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more guides on the best places to live, work, and build a new life around the world. Thanks for being here with me today. I'll see you next time.